welcome to a fantastic new week. My name is Vida Echetabu, the signpost. I'd like to appreciate each and every one of you for consistently supporting this channel and this ministry. And the ministry is moving to the permanent site. And this week we are discussing something quite questionable. So, the opposite of a good Samaritan is what? I'd allow you put it in the comments there. So, how many of us are familiar with that story in Luke chapter 10, the story of the Good Samaritan? I think that whether you're a Christian by religious practice or just somebody who has lived long enough on this earth, you would have known or heard about the story of the Good Samaritan. And it tells about a certain young man or a man who was traveling along the highway, and the gentleman of the highway attacked him, robbed him, beat him up, literally left him for dead. And an official came by and nobody was looking, so he moved to the other side of the road and said, I beg, I can't deal with this today. I don't have energy for police reports and all those type of things. And then another person, intellectually savvy, has some resources, knows better, should do better, also came, said, well, I have a meeting, my boss is calling me. I have an urgent appointment, a transaction to deal with, and a presentation to pitch. And since nobody was looking, crossed the road and took off. And then there comes along somebody who probably never chopped belly food that day, and did not, that was where we would say help came from nowhere. That was a help came from nowhere situation. And that person took it upon themselves, irrespective of the fact that nobody was there to see, nobody was there to applaud, no social media, props and hype and hailing, and no likes, so to speak, no subscriptions, jubebe type of situations. And the person did the right thing, took care of the person, provided first aid, took the person further, paid at an inn, clinic, emergency center, at least make sure that this person doesn't pass on, and the person left. Now, how do we know about the story? Because remember, there's nobody around watching or recording. It's the person who survived because of that Samaritan's assistance who's able to tell the story. Now, in our environments, all of us fall into one of these three categories. Whether you are the official leader, the person in power, and you have the authority, or you're somebody who knows about a circumstance, and while you are not an authority and you don't have the legal bearing, but you have enough resources to impact and bring about a proper positive solution, or perhaps you are somebody in the lower cadre of society, rough around the edges, and you don't have much, but in the little you have, you're able to also do something. Whether you are the Samaritan, the knowledgeable elite, or the official authority, guess what? Our society, our land will tell the story of who looked away, dissociated, and who rallied and made sure that things did not totally, degenerate, even though they may have fallen apart. Now, I'm guilty to some degree. The other day I was I don't know where I went, but I ate a candy in my car, and I typically would leave the trash in the car till wherever I saw a proper dustbin. And I'm using this example because it tells even all the way to the small things. Sometimes it's not about the big changes, it comes to the small habits. But for some reason that day, there must have been the devil, pushing me. pushing me. One small demon must have been whispering in my ear, and I did not resist it. So I got to a premises and I took the trash. All of a sudden, just looked around, nobody was there, so I threw the trash, the candy wrapper on the ground, and I walked away. I remember it because I knew at that time that, Davida, you should do better. You shouldn't have done that. But for some reason, I just was badly behaved that day. Thank God it was just that. But you see, if everybody says my own is just that, everybody's small just that becomes a massive collection of chaos and bad behavior. So what are we doing? And I give this because when I make this and have these conversations, I'm not speaking from a self-righteous perspective. It's because I'm also work in progress. And I'm more accountable now that I am preaching this and advocating all these things. I am more accountable. And I must also be able to admit when I have done or fallen short of the appropriate standard. As we also expect each and every one of us to do a self-assessment. Are you a good Samaritan or are you an eye server? Because I know as surely as the Lord liveth, that if I had a significant person with me watching, I would not have thrown that sweet wrapper on the ground. I would have behaved myself. Why? Because out of, I don't want to be put to shame. I don't want to be seen the wrong way. And that's what a lot of us do. So here I am, challenging everybody that you can do better. That we don't have to wait for the applause of humans. Why not wait and get the applause of heaven? Get the applause of posterity, that your environment will tell the right story about you. That you were not careless with it. That you didn't dissociate when it was tough. That you did the right thing. And that's what I'm encouraging each and every one of us. And the truth is, by ourselves, we cannot sustain the good that we want to do. So I invite you to meet Jesus. With his help, it will be easier. With his help, we will do the right thing. We will change our society for the good. So help us, God. See you very soon. And thank you for liking, subscribing, commenting, and sharing. God bless you. Bye.